Hi everyone, Chris Natsky here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of the Champion tip of the day. I have a question for you. What are you willing to let go of? It seems to me that the older I get, there's more and more things that I have the opportunity to let go of. And I think it happens in two ways. It happens with the positive things in our life. We've had experiences and sometimes we have a tendency to hold on to those times because they were so great. And other times, and probably more destructively, is we hold on to the things that were not pleasant times in our lives, the times when people hurt us or we felt we were done wrong, and we carry that resentment forward. And the fact of the matter is, in either one of those occasions, it's not that we want to negate the fact that those things happen. We still want to be aware of them, but we want to let go of our attachment to them so we can free ourselves up to really experience all the great things we have in front of us. And it reminds me of a great story that I heard years ago about the two monks. Now the two monks were part of an order that lived in a monastery high up in the mountains. And every 5 years, they were allowed to make a pilgrimage down into the city below. Now, this was an amazing monastery, amazing monastic order filled with love and generosity. But they did have one quirk. You see, in their order, they were not allowed to have contact with women in any way. They couldn't talk to women, they couldn't touch a woman, they just couldn't have any contact whatsoever. So anyway, the monks are making their way down, they head through the forest, and they're getting ready to go in the city, but they have an obstacle in front of them. You see, the snowfall has been quite heavy over the winter, and now in the spring, the water flow is quite heavy, and there's a raging river right in front of them. So they start to think about how they're going to get across this river, and then they notice someone. That's right, there's a young woman who's standing right at the river's edge. She's frozen in fear because she doesn't want to go across the river by herself. So the two monks approach her, and the first monk takes a look at her and then finally walks up to her, says hello, gives her a warm smile. They converse a little bit. Then he gently bends down and he picks her up and he puts her on his shoulder. And he walks across the river, taking her across. When he gets to the other side, he gently sets her down, she thanks him, and she goes on her way. Well, the second monk, he is walking directly behind, and he is one PO'd monk. He is upset because he can't believe that his brother has violated one of the most sacred orders of their monastery. Now, the two of them continue to walk down the path of the city for hours, not saying a word. And then finally, the second monk can't hold it in any longer, and he blurts out, "My brother, I can't believe that you touched that woman. I can't believe that you picked her up and you carried her across that river. Don't you know that you violated the most sacred order of our monastery?" And the first monk paused, smiled, and then looked gently at his brother, and he said, "My dear brother, I set the woman down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" So when I've heard that story, I've always thought about what are the things that I'm carrying? What are the things that I'm holding on to that are causing me to not stay in the present moment, and they're not allowing me to really have the best experience I can have right now? What resentments, what judgments, whatever am I holding on to that's not allowing me to be the full expression of who I've meant to be? So I hope that helps you out. I'd like you to think today, what are some of the things that you're holding on to? Where can you let something go so that you can have a life that's open and free to enjoy and create the best thing you want to create in your life? This is Chris Natsky from Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching, and I'll see you next time on the Mind of the Champion tip of the day.